Hello, everybody. Welcome back. So, leg working. Legs are
Yeah.
working. Let's talk about how this meeting goes. So
Her name
you're
is Rosalind Al Rashid, right?
Rosalind Al Rashid, yes.
Yeah.
So you see her leave her office, leave the building, and place a Bluetooth or equivalent device into her ears as she walks off, and then she pulls her scarf around her face, and heads
So
out.
I hop out the van.
Yep.
QQ, are you coming with me or are you staying in the vehicle?
Yeah, I stay in the vehicle because a heavily armed cyborg lady is not
That's true.
not a
All
good
right.
communicator.
All right, that's fair. So I hop out the van and I follow her into like the tube station, basically.
Okay.
And then I sort of sidle up beside her.
Can you roll something for me if you're
course.
if you're doing that? Can you roll whatever it is, acting under pressure? for
Acting
me
under
here?
fire.
Yeah, because the pressure here is that you're being kind of sketchy, and security might notice you being kind of sketchy.
7.
Okay. All right. And you're going by yourself, and QQ staying in the vehicle?
Yeah.
Okay. I think you can avoid being noticed by security. You get to one. I'll give you two choices. Right?
Okay.
She notices you following her and gets a little like sketched out, and you'll enter the conversation with her being a little paranoid rather than being like, oh, surprised, and the security won't notice you, or the security notices you and she doesn't. And security's like, hey, some sketchbag just got out of a van and followed our employee into the tube station.
I can handle security.
Yeah, it's okay if security sees me, I think. That's not important.
Okay. That's fine.
So am I within distance to speak to her?
Yeah, where do you want to have this conversation? Like in the train station?
Yeah, basically like on the platform is my plan.
Okay, so you're down. There's a bunch of people around. These places are always packed. There's never enough trains, even when there is enough trains. And yeah, there's all these people around, and she's just like standing, kind of like nodding her head, listening to something. And you can see her like moving her lips, like she's singing along or something. And she doesn't notice you.
I stand beside her and sort of like try and make eye contact with her, basically. If I can.
She scowls and like looks away.
And I say, can I do the question here is, can I out of character do a Russian accent? I can. It's gonna sound really, really bad. I don't know if I want to do it.
Okay, you can just say in a Russian accent, I say the following.
Can I do a Russian accent? No, it's very Transylvanian.
Yeah. I unfurl my cloak and I say, greetings, young lady.
You bite her on the neck.
Yeah. Ow! She screams in terror. Van Helsing leaps out from behind a pillar and starts shooting crossbow bolts at you.
Okay, enough of that. In a Russian accent, I say, Miss Rosalind Al Rashid.
She like looks at you again, like, "Oh, you're not going away." Okay, and she like reaches up, like, takes the little earbud things out, and you can hear faintly someone speaking on the other side. It's not a phone call, but you can hear someone saying like making statements. You can't pick out what it is, but it's like someone's voice, and she looks at you and she's like, "Yes."
I need to talk to you for a moment. Please disconnect any recording devices that you may be using. And I like do the same
She
thing.
started to like turn. She's turning. Her body language is changing, and she's like kind of looking around, like everybody's minding their own business aggressively. And she's dropped the other earbud into one hand, like into her left hand, and you can see her like clutching her. She's got like a satchel bag, and she's like clutching the strap, like she maybe. You're making her nervous. But she's like, she nods, and she's like, right, and like. Presses a button, and on the earbud, they turn off, and she tucks them into her pocket. And she's like, I'm sorry, who are you?
We've never met before. I am the person in charge of the security for your meeting at blank time, basically, for my employers. We're hoping to confirm with the Disney Bezos employees that the location is correct. Please tell me where you have been told to meet.
And she looks at you and she's like, I don't understand. Is this some kind of test?
This is no test. This is a confirmation that you received the right information, as there have been suggestions that perhaps you didn't. And then I rattle off like a code number for the Krug security team that I'm part of.
Mm-hmm.
Without ever saying Krug, obviously. Like if you want to run my number, like here.
Sure. Why don't you roll to fast talk her? You want to convince her that you're trying to convince her to tell you this with lies. Basically.
That I do. I was trying to fast talk.
Yeah, definitely.
That is a 11.
Okay. So she just looks at you.
The gravity and seriousness
She
of my
like listens to the number and she's nodding like she's heard it before, or doing that polite thing where she's like, I'm confused and don't understand. Smiling and nodding, and then she shakes her head and she's like, I don't know what to tell you. Your people said that we weren't. I don't know where it is. And she kind of like looks at you like this has to be a test. Like, what's the next part? Like, it's like, was I not supposed to say that? I don't know. They said it was safer that way. They would tell us right before. They're sending a vehicle to pick us up. I don't. And the train starts to like slide in.
I give her
body language is turning it into that like, either this is my train or I want it to be. I'm gonna go. You're making me uncomfortable.
I give her a nod, and say like, very good, and then turn and leave basically.
Mm-hmm.
Because there's nothing else I can learn from her. If she doesn't know the location, or she's not willing
being kept from her.
The location, then there's nothing else I can do. And if I play it off like she believes that it was a test of some kind, and that I put her to the test and she passed, good, and that's sort of what I just leave after that. You've done well, basically, and then turn and leave.
Sure. So she, she's like, puts her earbuds back in and gets on the train. And the train goes. Meanwhile, out in the van, QQ, you see two like security guard looking dudes. They've got like, down jackets and like black slacks and dress shoes and little security guy hats. And they've come out and they're starting to walk over to the van where you're sitting.
And I just like wait in the van.
Okay.
They can come talk to me. That's fine.
So they walk over. One of them stands on the sidewalk, looking at the vehicle, obviously like making a note of a bunch of shit, like, the license plate number and the color and whatever. And the other one, a woman, she's Spanish. I think she walks up to the window and like, unless you roll it down, she like taps on the window.
Yeah, I wait for her to tap on it and then like you can do the whole like, oh, I was in AR, and I like shake that off and like look over and smile and like roll down the window. I'm like, yeah, can I help you?
Yeah, she says, do you have she just says identification, please? And you immediately get a prompt to like. Normally people don't get like, if security forces want your ID, they just take it from you, right? They're like, identification, please, and then you get a little thing that's just like, your system is being overrated, and now they know your driver's license number and stuff. But obviously, you're an operative; you don't have to do that. You've got that in place in your AR. So yeah, she's just like.
And yeah, I'm just like, I do that whole thing that like when someone says something really awkward and you're embarrassed on their behalf, and you do that, I just kind of do one of those like, oh, yeah, no, right? And I like lean in conspiratorially. I'm just like, no, you see, we're on the special task force. We don't. Is there a problem?
So when you lean in, she takes a step back, and she doesn't like go for her gun yet, but she like takes a half step back, and you can see her drop her pose a little bit into that like the next thing I do is like take my gun out of my holster, or like at least put my hand on it. I mean, you can read that body language, no problem.
Yeah.
Her partner doesn't pick that up. He's like around the back looking at the van. He doesn't see her. So she takes a bit of a step back, and she says, yeah, she says this vehicle doesn't have authorization to be parked in this space. I'm gonna need your identification.
I mean, if you want to write me a ticket, that's fine. But you think the higher ups care to hear about this? I mean, we're on the special security detail.
Let's have you try to fast talk this special security detail business.
It's the whole like, oh, you didn't know? Oh, that's so sad.
The special security detail.
So I get an 11.
Whoa!
All right. So she looks at you. How QQ? How have you prepared? What have you prepared to back this story up? Now, there's no wrong answer, but I would like to know, because you just bullshitting her isn't gonna be enough. But what does her partner say that is like that backs up your story?
Oh well, we totally spoofed the like plates and registry information for this van are spoofed to appear for it to be a Disney Bezos van.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like, no, this is just like a left hand not knowing what the right hand is doing kind of situation, where we're special security for the VIP, who is Rosalind.
So so it takes a step back and like looks at you, and then the other guy comes around the corner and he leans in and like says something, and you only pick up the word Mouseketeer.
Yes.
And then she puts her hands up. She's like, I'm sorry, ma'am. I like tips her hat. She's like backs away slowly.
Yeah, like, oh honey, that's fine. Don't worry about it.
Yeah, and the two of them walk away, and as soon as they're like kind of out of sight, like she looks over her shoulder at you again, and then like the two of them are like kind of whispering conspiratorially, like, "Whoa, what the fuck? This is crazy!" Like, and they head off to the. So like you didn't intentionally do that, but like yeah, I think that they made an assumption.
Yeah, and I just had to carry my part of the story, right?
Sure. Yeah. Okay. Cool. All right. So while y'all are doing that, Cathode and Neat, what are you up to?
Well, I mean, I left the meeting and immediately went to go drown my doubts about Neat's murder hobo-ness with technology.
I have a house.
Yeah, he has
Thank
a house.
you.
So where did you? Yeah, where are you? Where do we find Cathode?
I mean, I'm probably just back at my like house in my room with my drones and technology that is, you know, not murdering things or people, and I can take it apart and understand it and put it back together again.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah, she's very safe here.
Do you want to know a secret?
No.
I can take people apart. Like you're doing with the drones.
You're not here.
It's very simple.
You're not here.
Okay, fine.
I would not invite you back to my house after you were talking about exploding people's heads.
I don't go to your stupid house. It's probably lame.
It's really
Probably don't even
great.
have like any wall scrolls or anything.
It's great.
You probably don't even have any wall scrolls. I love it.
Yeah, come on, you gotta have the wall scrolls.
Yeah, no, she's comforting herself by taking things apart and putting them back together again.
Sure. Okay. So nothing useful or productive. Just feeling
Nope.
sad. Okay.
Nothing useful or productive.
Neat. What about you?
Yeah, so we know this is specifically dock-based stuff. I guess I wait and I hear back from Flamingo and QQ that's like they don't even know where they're going.
Yeah.
So
Disney Bezos side of it doesn't have any idea where they're going to be meeting.
right. So I think I'm doing general kind of maps and like tactical layover research on like the dock area of the like the megaplex where they are currently running their like shipping business out of, just getting an overview for there. And depending obviously on how I do, the question I'd like to ask is, can I identify any well fortified places or suspicious areas there that might be used for a secret meeting?
Yeah, go ahead and assess what or research. What's the library dossier or database that you're using, so I can help understand the answer to the question? Just publicly available information.
Yeah, like it would be a whole nother thing to try and get maybe it is a cross-reference, in fact. Maybe, oh yeah, I've got it. I need to check with my hacker friend who I made in the first mission, because I need to cross-reference the megaplex is like the DB's version of the map of the area with the publicly available one. Because if there's a place that you want a secret meeting, you just make the building not appear or look like something else, so nobody even knows that that's a suspicious place.
Okay, so you want to hit the street first?
Yes, and then I'd like to try and research, or let somebody else research, in fact, after, because they'd probably be better at it.
Okay.
Gosh, did I actually
so you reach
write
out
this contact down?
Reach out, yeah, it was Mr. Blank.
It was Mr. Blank, yeah.
That's why the name isn't on the list, because it's just an empty space.
Yeah. Okay, fingers crossed. 8.
You got an 8
again.
Okay, all right. So what are you going to choose for your option?
Oops, that's peripheral moves. Oh god, I got to choose 2 again. I think it's going to cost me extra.
Okay, so two grid instead of 1.
Yep.
Okay. Oh, hold on. You're at a -1 for yeah, you're at another -1. It doesn't make a difference, but just keep in mind because you still owe.
I'm a -1 for everything.
It's ongoing to this move because you chose the help one from last time.
Oh yeah, of course. Sorry, I almost forgot that. Yeah, sure. So it's going to cost extra.
Yep.
And do we have time? I think we do have time, because what we're going to actually want to do is also tail the van that they get picked up in. So if we can cross-reference it and just like as we see, yeah, it's going to take more time. It's going to cost a bit more, I think.
Okay.
Unless anybody else has input on that.
Because if you do that, it puts, even if there isn't a time constraint, it creates one.
Sure.
And it means that something else, like we'll have to do some other things. We'll focus elsewhere for a little bit, and then you can remind me, like, and we'll come back to this as a result. But yeah, that sounds fine.
Okay, cool.
Okay, yeah. So I think that when you're digging around, when you're getting ready to like contact him, I think that well, actually, you know what? It'll be part of this information will be part of the stuff that he sends you. So that's fine.
Cool.
So you put out that request to Mr. Blank to give you that info, and then I guess what's the next thing for everybody else while you're waiting for that?
Can I buy my helicopter now?
Yes,
Yeah,
helicopter
I
purchasing.
don't see why not.
All right, I'm gonna hit the street. Give me a helicopter.
Okay, yeah. So how does, I mean, I'm sure you've done the research. How does the helicopter purchasing thing work?
So it's a thing like any other. Its fair price is 8 cred.
Yes.
For a military vehicle. And yeah.
Okay. So you just
I think the way that QQ is going to get this.
Yeah, that was the other thing. It was
has a contact at Freyr because it's a Freyr helicopter. Okay. And she is getting one that's supposed to be decommissioned and like broken down for parts or whatever.
Yeah, it fell off the back of the helicopter truck.
Yeah.
Sure.
So it's like being decommissioned, it gets kind of lost in the shuffle, and it ends up getting dropped off at our warehouse in this big like shipping container.
Okay.
Assuming all goes well. So I will hit these streets. And I get a 7, barely.
Okay. Now is that, let me take a look. Is that, no, it's, yeah, there's no separate move for getting gear. It's just the hit the streets move, right?
Yeah, it's the same move.
Okay.
And so for my 7.
So I guess you need to, you need to establish the contact that you.
Oh, sorry, I need to make the contact
person.
First.
Yeah.
Which is, where's the move for that?
I think you just say who it is.
Oh, okay.
And you get 1 per mission. So
can you give me the name of a human?
Maybe they work for Freyr.
They work for Freyr.
Okay. So we just need like a. Let's see.
A human.
Human names.
Want the name of a sentient monkey that works for Freyr?
I mean, what's the difference?
Yeah,
we are just
okay. Their name, oh my god, common. I looked up common names in Sweden, and Neo is one of them.
Is this person's name Neo?
No, it's definitely not.
It will hurt me if it is. So
this person's name is her name is Sigrun.
Yep.
But it's okay if you call her Siggy. And her last name, let's find a good last name. Thank God for the internet. Her last name is Hansen.
Cool. And like this is all happening like over the phone, and it's like QQ laying on the couch with her like feet up over the back of it, and so they're like kicking in the air, and she's like twirling her hair and talking to this person over AR phone. This is like, hey Sig.
Yeah, and I mean, how often do you talk to her? Are you friends with her? Are you like, you only call her when you need something?
We're still friends. I have like a lot of people at Freyr that I'm still like try to keep in touch with here and there.
Okay.
QQ is very sociable.
It seems that way, yeah.
Very sociable and very gun usable.
A happy-go-lucky murder robot.
Yep.
And like, you know, I've been assigned to a bunch of different details working security before I was a bodyguard for Flamingo, which is like a higher up position. So like back when I was still just a security guard, I was in charge of, or like I was tasked with protecting her like warehouse or whatever that she operates out of. She's the like decommissioning mechanic for vehicles. So they come in, she assesses them, and sometimes they're not fit for continued service and they get dumped.
Yeah. So when you call her, you're like, hey, she's like, oh, well, if it isn't my favorite hunk of junk.
Yes. And just like, yeah, you know, I'm still in one piece, or well, sometimes a couple pieces, but they put me back together.
It's like, let me guess, you want to go get drunk. It's the only reason you ever call me anymore. Don't you have any other friends? I told you shouldn't quit.
Look, I have other friends, but they're not my favorite, like you.
Oh, sure. I've heard this before.
Well, okay, if you don't want to get smashed, maybe you can just do something for me, and then I'll shut up and go away.
Anything I can do to get you off my back.
I'm just like, you know those Fad 19s? What were they? The Ragriders? Yeah. And I like pronounced the name wrong or whatever.
Yeah, she just shakes her head. She's like, I can't begin to imagine where this conversation is about to go. Please.
Well, you know, I've always wanted one.
She's like sighs heavily.
And I'm just like waiting for her to say yes. I'm just like, and if she doesn't say anything, I'm just like, so you're going to get me one, right?
She's like, maybe I can find one for you to obtain. Might have some miles on it.
That's
So it
fine.
might have some kilometers on it.
Yeah, and I'm like, just like me, one that's seen a few battles and come back in one piece.
Oh, so you want an old slut of a helicopter? Fine. I'll get the dirtiest one I can find out of the closet.
Yeah, great. Look, I hope you're not still mad about that one time.
Which
when
one
we've, like,
time?
hooked up several times.
Yeah, you realize after a few one times, it's not one time anymore.
Well, if you want it to be 7 times instead of 6, you better get me this fucking helicopter, Siggy.
Oh, there it is. I've missed you threatening me. You can hear like noise in the background and stuff, like she works in a mechanic's shop.
Yeah.
And and she's like, okay, well, I've had just about as much of this conversation as I can take. I'll see about your helicopter. The usual account.
Yeah, and I'm just like, checks in the mail.
Yep.
And so the 7 to 9 results here are, so it's not going to cost me extra because then it'll cost 16 cred, which is absurd.
Yeah.
It can attract some unwanted attention. And if the one thing she wants me to help her out with is getting laid, I will happily help her out with that. Those are the options I'm choosing.
Yeah, so you want her to she wants help from you, and okay. So that's fine with the unwanted attention. But I think so she's had this ongoing thing for Flamingo. And that's constantly what she talks about. She's like, you need to introduce me to your friend. You need to introduce me to your friend.
She is sweet on Flamingo.
Yeah. And you never, for various reasons, never have. And she's just like, come
on. That will never fucking happen.
Then you'll be at a -1 for forever.
Actually, no, it could totally happen. But I have been jealously guarding Flamingo.
Yeah.
Hoping that one day she'll sleep with me.
Yeah. So I think that's the jam. She's like, nope, that's what I want. You gotta, it's the favor you gotta pull, and you get that in the email.
Yeah,
I think
you wouldn't say it to my face for fear of the backlash.
Yeah, so she sends you like banking information for the temporary account where you can pay the money, and then she also sends attached a photo of the last time that the 3 of you were like in the same place at the same time, and it's like her in the background. It's like one of those really obvious photos that she like begged you not to post on social media because it's like her staring at Flamingo and it's you and Flamingo, and she's in the background of the picture, and she's drawn a little heart around Flamingo's face, and she just attaches
where
that.
You're like holding a drink and just like slouchily staring at someone's butt.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm into it.
Yeah. At some like work party. Totally.
Yep.
Yeah, and so like QQ like floats that around in her AR a little bit and is like, it's like floats over the trash can and then like back out like and then eventually she like files it in her to-do list.
Okay.
Looking forward to that. I'm looking forward to that conversation.
Sorry.
Good work, Dave. You got it.
Well
Nailed
done.
it. Okay. All right. So you have a multi-person capable helicopter now. So that's cool.
And it's like this random like shipping container gets like erroneously like accidentally delivered to us, but without a return to sender option. At some point.
Totally.
From port, and QQ is just like pinging Kathy immediately, just like, hey.
What?
Hey,
Yeah.
you want to see something cool?
What?
Well, actually, how about this? How about instead of having it show up at like your place, Cathode, you're in your like little office thing, and your front door, like you're like
better
alarm thing, your buzzer is like like you have somebody at the door.
And like I do the whole like
have someone at the
gloves.
door. Be right back.
Okay. I do the whole like gloves thing. I take off my pink gloves and I like set them down and I go over the door and I'm just like, okay, like in case this is someone like really important, because I have no idea. I wasn't expecting anybody. And I open the door and I'm like, yes.
So there's a delivery person, all bundled up in the like brown like UPS outfit. And behind them, as you look, they've got a data pad. They're like, I need you to sign for this.
Sign for what?
gestures over your shoulder. There's this huge, like, corrugated metal brown, like, UPS container. I guess it wouldn't be metal. It would be disposable. It would be a giant, like, cardboard analog, like reinforced cardboard and wood box. And they're like, whatever's in there.
Is it's here, this address?
Uh-huh.
And I like look over the paper and it like says like this address, but it doesn't say, I'm assuming it doesn't say my name.
No.
And I'm just like, okay. And I like sign it because, you know, like, the thing's being delivered.
As soon as you sign it, he just turns around and walks away. And he's like, yep, thanks. Go back to the vehicle. The big truck that it's attached to disconnects from the big box and then drives off.
So it's just outside?
It's just sitting in like, in the street.
And then, as soon as the delivery is confirmed and QQ gets pinged about it, you just get this like bombard of messages. So it's like a couple seconds after.
And then I'm just basically like my whole AR fills up with just like, hey, like you got the thing or whatever, like the messages. And I just can't even read it all like fast enough. And I'm just like, what?
Swipe it out of the way just to get past.
Yeah, I just like actually like FaceTime you. And I'm just like,
is it there? Is it there?
What is this?
And I'm just like, don't touch it. I'll be right over. And then QQ like, hustles over there.
Mm-hmm.
How do you know where I live?
I mean, I've been there before.
Yeah, but she's not like, she's just confused.
And so
yeah, we get here. There's a big old box on the ground in front of the Disney Bezos apartment complex.
And it has like a keypad. And so she like pens in this or like scans her palm print on the keypad or whatever. And the whole crate starts to like unfold and open.
Oh,
it looks like
my God.
Decommissioned attack helicopter.
Holy shit, no. And she's just like immediately like, this is the best.
Yeah, and it's like the rotors are all like tilted funny so that it fits inside of this like hexagonal shipping container. But it's a freaking like 4-prop like command helicopter with a bunch of weapons and stuff. It's pretty much the coolest.
Oh my God, QQ, this is the coolest thing I've ever seen in my whole life.
I mean, it's pretty like janky looking. Like it's a military helicopter. It's taken some hits.
It's a helicopter.
It's in need of a paint job.
I could do that. I'm sure I could do all sorts of things to a helicopter. Vehicles, man. I'm an expert.
It's true. You are. And now you have a helicopter.
Yeah.
Cool. Well, rather than jump into another thing, why don't we end on the you got a helicopter note?
Yeah.
The two of you standing in the drifting snow outside of this beautiful machine.
Basically, literally jumping up and down. Yes.
That has autocannons and machine guns and is fast, rugged, powerful, and loud.
I'm not sure about the autocannons and machine guns, but all the other stuff I'm into.
Excellent. So yeah, next time we play, maybe we'll get to see it in action.
Fast, rugged, powerful, and loud, just like it's workshop.
Yeah, it's QQ in helicopter form.
Right, exactly. Cool. Well, let's do some shout outs and bid adieu to our cyberpunk future for now. Blue Jay, why don't you start us off this time?
Oh man. First,
Yeah,
weird.
first.
I don't know what to say about myself.
The exact same thing that you say twice a week, every week. Do it.
I'm Blue Jay.
Yes.
You can find me at twitch.tv/BlueJay here on Thursdays and Fridays, or on twitch.tv/misclicks on Wednesday nights. I do stuff, nerdy things on the internet, and that's how I live. It's weird. That's it.
All right. Dave. Somebody pointed out, Dave, that your Roll20 account got hacked and some Owlwrath was rolling for you.
Oh, I've not changed it in this one campaign.
Yeah.
Okay, good. I'm going to do that right now. Here we go. Enjoyed this typing because of how close. There we go. Perfect. There we go. I am Dave the Human on Twitter with underscores. I'm now Dave Human on Twitch, which makes me very happy.
I love it so much.
Yep, it's
It's right up there with. I love the. So
So
I
dumb.
will say this about the name changes, because obviously I'm never going to change mine because it's my actual name. But some of the things people have changed their name to have been really good. I'm very impressed with Soup's name change from Soupity to Literal Soup. I've been really happy. But
Literal
Dave Human makes me giggle every time.
Yeah, it's pretty sweet.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, I really enjoyed this session. I think we're starting to, like, now that we're taking it a bit slower in terms of both like mechanics and actually like what we're going to do in the session. We didn't even like finish legwork in one, but we got to do a bunch of like super cool descriptions and role playing for the bits and bobs. It's a lot more fun. We got to do a lot more.
That text message though.
Yeah, cyberpunk tangentially stuff.
Kunai.
It was cool. It's cool. It's cool. I'm gonna go and play Zelda now. Not on stream. I'm just gonna go and play it.
All right. Enjoy your Zeldas. Andrew?
I'm Andrew. You can follow me on Twitter at Commuting Crow, or on twitch.tv/actualfactual. I'm going to be streaming later today for a little bit, doing some Magical Girl tabletop RPG game design. So you can watch me do that.
When are we going to playtest that again?
I'm hoping for like next month.
Yeah, sweet. That sounds great.
Hell yes.
Cool. Definitely check that out. I got to play in an early playtest of it, and it was real fun, and I'm super excited to see where that goes. Cool. Elf? Do it in a bad Russian accent, Elf.
Okay, all right. I'll do my Transylvanian elf.
Transylvanian shoutouts.
Hello, everyone. I am Distracted Elf. You can find me at www.twitch.tv/distractedelf or on Twitter at distractedelf. I will invite you to my castle, where I will romance you until it is such a time that I must suck your blood.
10,000 followers. Elf, you're beautiful. I love you. Thank you for that.
Thank you.
Well, we are, as we mentioned yesterday, if you caught D&D, we're taking a week off for one of the thousands of Penny Arcade Expos. And we will be back the following week on Thursday with some kind of a thing. We haven't totally figured out what it is, but
well, like the general plan, right, is if we're capable of doing Yawning Portal, and if we're not, D&D.
Yes, some kind of thing. We'll figure it out. But yeah, the Thursday of next week, Thursday and Friday, we'll be skipping, but the week after we'll have the Sprawl and something on Thursday. And I'm hoping, fingers crossed, that we get to do a preview of Yawning Portal. But if not, we'll prep for it and we'll do something. We'll do some kind of a stream that day.
Monster Hearts.
Otherwise, yeah, you'll find us right back here 2 Fridays from now, where we'll continue our adventures in the Sprawl. You can find me, if you want to, on the internet at Twitter. I'm Skinny Ghost over there, and twitch.tv/Adam Coble. And then, of course, right here, GMN for these lovely people. We will see you when we return. Make sure you keep an eye on Twitter for all the updates and what have you. And have a good one, Cyberpunks. See you next time.